Hey, so a lot of people have been asking how to create email campaigns with hyper-personalization inside automated client acquisition. So I will run a campaign end to end so that you can see how to build it yourself. So we'll see two different ways. We'll build it using the UI inside the platform, and we'll also do it using Cloud. So we'll just give it a prompt and it's going to build the whole campaign for us. First of all, you need to make sure you go inside settings, integrations, and here make sure that you have your open router API key set up. That's really important. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to create the AI analysis and the emails. Next, you want to go inside the email outreach section. Here, make sure that you have either Zapmail connected or that you have inboxes imported from any providers you want, and make sure you also have a tracking domain. So when you add a tracking domain, you just need to make sure that you use a subdomain of a domain that you are actually ready to burn, and then make sure that you set up the DNS as instructed here. Next, you'll want to go inside mailboxes and make sure that they are all there and connected. So connect mailboxes, Zapmail. So if you have your API key, they'll be imported automatically, including the authentication and everything else. If you don't, you can use the SMTP provider. We'll talk about Azure infrastructure, but that's a different subject. So here again, you just need to set the inbox credentials or import as a CSV. Once you've done that, you'll want to go inside people. You need to click on list and then create a new list. So that's going to be a static list. We use smart lists for LinkedIn connections and stuff like that. So they get updated automatically. We use static lists to import leads. So we'll click on static list, we'll give it a name, and I'm just going to open one that's already existing. And here you'll see in add people, you'll have different options. So LinkedIn search, sales navigator, LinkedIn recruiter, LinkedIn post, and then import from CSV, which is what I recommend to do. That's the most efficient, and you can import a lot more leads in one go, as opposed to doing the LinkedIn stuff where you can import approximately 2,000. Here you can import as many as you like. So you click on browse, and here you need to select your CSV. So let me just look for any CSV here, just to show you the mapping. So here you just need to basically map everything and make sure that the LinkedIn URL is populated. This is mandatory. The email is mandatory too. So if you import lists from trusted leads or lists that are similar to what Apollo are doing, this is pre-mapped. If the format is slightly different, you need to map each column manually. It's not a big deal, but you can also create custom variables if you want. And these are actually reusable inside the campaigns. So once you've imported the leads, there'll be another important step where we see most people fail when they are doing cold emailing, is that they are basically sending the wrong message to the wrong people. So you want to have an ICP qualifier running first. So you need to go inside assets, and here you'll select the product or the service that you're willing to sell. And here you'll enter target audience. And so basically, if you are the product, so you can use the scrape and analyze with AI, or you can do it manually. Once you've done that, you'll want to go back inside people. You click on list, you'll find your list, and here you'll select everyone. So select all of those. And here you'll see that we have different actions. And so we are going to select analyze companies. Let me just remove that because they've already been analyzed. And you see here, when they are analyzed, we see if they are a good fit for the service that we select or the service that we are aiming to sell to them, so that we can filter out the list again and segment it differently and make sure that we send the right message to the right people. So here we'll select action, we'll click on analyze companies, we'll select a model. That's the reason why it is paramount to enter the OpenRoute credentials, otherwise this is not going to work. To conduct analysis, Grok 4.1 fast is very good. Llama is also very good, Llama Maverick. So it's Llama for Maverick, and this is actually very cost effective. You select the product, and here you just select a LinkedIn account. If you want to use a LinkedIn account and scrape people's LinkedIn pages, and here click on Analyze Companies. And as a result, you will get the ICP score, but you will also get a complete AI analysis. So we'll see what do they need more of. This is usually the angle we use in order to offer our services. We'll see if this is the right decision maker for obviously the service that we are aiming to provide. We'll also see if they are a good fit for the product. We'll see the company overview, so we get the niche, what do they sell, their target market, the language they use, and their keywords. And we also see business insights. Do they have outbound sales? Do they use different tools? Did they close a round of funding recently? And so on and so forth. And so that's giving us a lot of context in order to produce the sequences. So for this person, they've already been produced, but let me just create one for you so that you can see exactly how to do that. So I'm going to first create a sequence. So I'm going to go inside sequence. I'm going to set new sequence. I'm going to add an email. And here I'm going to basically add variable. So that's going to be generated emails, subject 1. Here that's going to be generated email body 1. Let's not forget the signature here. And here I'm going to add delay. I'm going to set 3 days. Going to add another step. And here I'm going to select another variable. That's going to be email subject 2. And here I'm going to select email body 2. Again, let's not forget the signature. There are a lot of different variables that you can use, so you might as well just be creative. But if you want to really fast track the process and use hyper personalization, this is the best way to do it. So this one is going to be named new sequence demo v1. I'm going to go inside people again. I'm going to go back inside the list, and here I'm going to basically click on the same list. I'm going to select everyone. Or what I could do is that I could segment. So I'll just check that they are the right fit. So let's say we want them to be between 60 and 100 in terms of ICP score. So now we only have people that are potentially a good fit. Okay, that's cool. Let's select them all. And I'm going to click on generate and send. And here I'll basically be able to use a prompt to create the email sequences. Going to be using a product. I don't need the knowledge base for that. I've only added 2 emails inside the sequence, so there is no point to have 3 created. I'll use the premium model here. So I'm going to select net 6, and I'm not going to generate deliverable. I'll tell you how to do that in the next video. I'll choose the next destination. So I can choose to push this sequence into Smart Lead, instantly success.ai, or into our own sending tool. I'll select our mailboxes. I'll generate and send. Now, if you want to see the result of the actual email sequence, you need to go inside the sequence and then go inside Enrollment tab. and then just click on the lead, and you will see that you'll get the actual emails. So if you don't like what they look like, you can tweak the prompts. So all you need to do is go inside the list, people, list, go back. Let's say that there is an email sequence that you don't like. You just need to select everyone and then clear the email sequence. And then you can regenerate the email sequence by using generate and send. And here, use a prompt that you find most suitable. Obviously, when you use those prompts, you need to make sure that all of those are populated. If you use a variable that doesn't exist inside your lead lists, it is not going to work as expected. So what I recommend to do first is to use prompts that have already been set as presets, but obviously you can tweak and you can use your own. Now, there is a faster way to do it. Here, just resume. We've created a sequence, we've imported leads, we run the ICP analysis, then we created sequences, and then inside the email sequence, there'll be a couple of tabs left. So here you see we have one issue. So we need to go inside tracking and make sure that we have the tracking domain selected. So that's now ready to run. The easier way and the faster way to do it is to go inside Cloud and say, okay, do you have access to automated client acquisition? Yes, it has. And here you can see that it has access to numerous tools, including the outreach and emails. Here I've requested to look for a list called Cyber. There isn't one, but it is basically going to look for the different lists and then create an email sequence for these people specifically. So let's say, okay, now create an email sequence for cybersecurity experts so that we can provide them more appointments. As you can see, the sequence has been created with 4 different emails, 3 different delays. It uses the variables. So that's what it says inside Cloud. Now we'll go back inside automated client acquisition to verify. I'll go inside sequence, and here, there you go, with sequence. So this has been created.